Lucky Lefty podcast. The Onora boys are in the building. Left right there is quizzically looking at something, probably looking at the ingredients on something he's drinking. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly and not drink this vitamin water, zero sugar. I got the wrong one. It tastes like bones. It's terrible.
Left, we're going to hear from Notre Dame players. A lot to say. A lot to say. A lot of interesting comments. We'll hear from Tariq Bracy. We'll hear from Logan Diggs, and we'll hear from the Gator Bowl MVP quarterback Tyler Buckner. We'll give intel. Uh, Visits won't start until January the 5th this week, and we fully expect Sam Hartman and some other visitors to be on campus via the transfer portal that possibly will be joining the Notre Dame program. We'll talk about that. But we would be foolish not to start today talking about the incident in last night's football game between the Bills and the Bengals. Uh, T. Higgins tackled by Damar Hamlin, and then he collapses to the field and it's unconscious, no heart rate, and had to be revived through CPR on the field for several minutes. You saw the reaction from both sidelines, both players. NFL has released a statement. He's still in critical condition, and our hearts and our prayers go out to him, his family, both of those teams, the players, everyone connected. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is not just to say that left. Um, I believe I became a better football fan last night. I became a better Notre Dame fan last night, bro. If I'll be honest with you, um, if I'm keeping it a buck, I shed a tear last night, bro. Um,
Shed a
they
tear.
showed his they showed his mom coming down, and as a parent, like I've had moments being 2,000 miles away from my daughter, thinking about, yo, what if something happens and I'm not close enough? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about him per se, but it's always something that can connect you to people. And that's really what I want to get across to people. You know, the world tries to make us divisible, the things of the world. At the at the end of the day, we all start out as human beings. Before we start receiving intellect, information, and other things that make us divisible by beliefs and culture, we start out as human beings. And as a human being, if you just couldn't look at what was happening last night without talking about what needed to happen with the game, or without bringing up how much somebody makes and all the other exterior things to the situation, if you just couldn't sit there and see that somebody was having CPR performed on them with millions of people watching in a full football stadium, and that's never been seen before, that's if that doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what else to tell you. Maybe you need to cleanse your heart, because that has nothing to do with culture. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with anything. You're just looking at a situation, and like I said, you know, my heart went out to him immediately, but then it really touched me just as a parent. Like, yo, in a moment, she goes from cheering for her son to not knowing whether or not he's going to live, yo. So as a parent, like every time my daughter leaves the house, bro, every time she leaves the house, I'm praying that she makes it home. I'm staying up until she walks through those doors, bro. So absolutely, I connected as a parent to his mom. because I knew on a minor scale, like, yo, I can only imagine the range of emotions that she's feeling right now. And then I'll let you have it right after this. You know, it's amazing how, as football fans, um, we can critique, we can talk, and I've said it before. You know, just sharing with the Notre Dame fan base the information and the talks that we've had, and just learning about the brotherhood and how close Notre Dame football players are, not just when they're at Notre Dame, but even when they leave. You guys have been taught to move on. I've seen it covering practices this season in the fall practices. I've seen someone injured and they just move 20 yards further down the field while they're being tended to. It's like literally just mentally, football players are taught to move on. And it's not as simple as that sometimes in life, man. Everything is not as simple as, oh, just move on. It's not that simple sometimes, man. And like I said, I think I became a better fan because I started to be reflective about, we joke sometimes, but it's like, man, these kids really do put a lot on the line, outside of going to school at an institution like Notre Dame, which isn't easy. I mean, just being a student isn't easy. You add in the other side, that's an entirely different stress. So yeah, I think I became a better overall football fan and definitely a better fan of Notre Dame last night. And I just hope that everyone, regardless of what you think about certain things that are external, if you can't have a pure heart with your prayers, then I don't know what to tell you. Because honestly, your opinion really doesn't matter when it comes to that man's health. There's no amount of money that anybody in the NFL makes that's worth their health and their life. No, I don't care how much they're making. There's nothing more valuable than your health. If your health goes, that's it. That's it. So, yeah, for me, it was very touching, and I think it points to why Notre Dame is so special and why we feel like kids should understand what 4 for 40 or 4 for forever means. Because the game can be taken away from you just like that. Like literally, I heard a doctor that was on Get Up this morning say basically he took a shot to the chest at a precise moment in his cardiac cycle that caused a pause in that cycle and interrupted blood flow to the brain, which started everything, which was like winning the lottery, bro.
Believe that shit. I don't know.
That's it was like, yo, she was like, that's one of the things that could have happened. It could have been something that he had an arrhythmia beforehand that they didn't know. She said it's really only three things that probably took place. But she was like, that's things can happen in life. Like it could be 1 in 100 million of an opportunity that a hit happens at the right spot or at a certain spot, and the next thing you know, you're paralyzed or you can't move your arms, you can't move your legs. Look, man, my appreciation for what these young men do increased. It was already high. It increased even more. And I think watching a young man like Braden Lindsey after the Gator Bowl, who suffered multiple concussions at Notre Dame, show the value of his education in Notre Dame and say, you know what? I'm good.
He said, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm, I'm good. And
Man,
that
listen,
four for
straight.
yo, that 4 for forever means something, man. It means something. And a lot of these young men can't even picture it because they're so built to get to that next level. Hey man, life is real. Life is real. And the reality is you're a second, you're a moment away from things not going the way that you've planned out and what you've worked for not laying out the way you thought it would. So absolutely, man. Pure hearts, positive thoughts. And Yeah, Left, you can go ahead, bro. It was
Yeah, I think as a parent, like you said, you just never want to see a kid in a position like that, especially here one second, and then you scared for their life the next second. So I do think the parent aspect is always a crucial thing when you're going through stuff like that. I think the only thing I had a problem with, I just don't like the virtue signaling. I think it's just too much virtue signaling that happens because of social media, where people just want to instantly, throw emotion on things, where I think it ruins the objective conversation to have about situations. I don't think everything has to be an emotional cry fest where they get a handsome black man that's articulate to go up there and just give these Ryan Clark type of speeches, because I'm like, come on. Like, I think we all know what football is as a game. I think it's a very huge anomaly for something like that to occur, because it's not like T. Higgins is the Hulk, and,
no,
and
not at all.
or it's just a freak injury, something that players are playing football. I've seen many hits like it. You've seen hits like it, and for that to happen how it did, it's just unfortunate for the player. I just never thought the NFL would take it as far as they did in postponing the game. I mean, we've seen plenty of guys be carted off with neck injuries and gruesome injuries, all of the sort. So for this to kind of stop and postpone the game on national television, I think it's pretty crazy. I think it's coming to more of what the times of people and their emotions are fitting. Like, I think once you start doing that, they may stop the game for roughing passers. You never know. So I think uh, there's a lot of things that you can speculate on why, but I think more importantly is you saw the brotherhood of the field. You saw
Facts.
guys come together and be like, all right, I know this is serious and all, but damn, like, that's my guy outside of the pads and in the jersey. And I think that in a way was a good thing for people to see, is that it's not so barbarian, even though it has its attributes. So, I think hopefully he recovers and bounces back, but it's getting real finicky on how they decide and pick and choose what they really approach to helping the game. Like the Tua situation, he probably got 5 or 6 concussions this season. They
It's
don't
really unbalanced.
the
It's
NFL,
unbalanced.
the
Because
NFL
then
don't.
what about the care of the players that are retired? Like it's just unbalanced. Left, I agree with you, bro.
It's a
It is
never
unbalanced.
spiral. I don't think you'll always get the right answer. I think a lot of this is just coming down to case by in the situation last night was a situation of case by case. Definitely very scary for the mom. I mean, shoot, you just seen him make a decent tackle, and now he's getting CPR on the field. It's just, ooh, I know that's probably the scariest thing for the mom is seeing that. But the virtue signaling always throws me off on situations like this, because you're not getting into heaven any faster, by acting like you're Jesus Christ on a situation. They've been ripping Skip Bayless to pieces to the point where they got him on TV crying and apologizing. And I think
Look,
I don't.
look, Left, look. If they had continued the game, I would have sat there and watched the game.
I would have watched it, and I think most people, if not all people,
And
would
my
watch
whole thing is, I remember my grandfather told me, he said, son, I know you always have something to say, you always have an opinion, but sometimes you have to recognize that your opinion doesn't matter.
it.
And when you recognize that your opinion doesn't matter, then you can sit back and watch how things play out. And
You can watch it. Yeah,
in that situation, all that mattered is how those players felt. It had nothing to do with me.
exactly. How they
If
feel.
those players felt like, nah, I don't want to do it. What else can I say?
Yeah,
What else can I say? I'm
yeah,
not about to get mad because I can't watch football. I got too much other content to go watch in this day and time. And for me, that's when people start, like I said, man, when you want to start bringing external stuff in and start, getting preachy on both sides of the argument, Man, miss me with all that, dude. This a dude whose life is in the balance.
And that's what was crazy. You know, all of the politicization or the politics surrounding that moment falls in comparison to the guy's life was really at risk. And when stuff like that happens, man, you just gotta take it with caution. I just don't appreciate too much of the sympathetic stuff and not keeping some objectivity in it. Because I think it's like you said, it's a spiral because now you got people that's going to reach back to retired players and current players, and everybody's concerned about their health all of a sudden. It's football.
Right.
Millions and millions of dollars.
And that's the thing, bro. We talking about the NFL. I'm not right thinking about the schedule and when NFL can push the whole schedule back weeks. They don't care. They got money. They can reschedule stadiums. They can do whatever they want. It's NFL. I don't have any empathy for the NFL, the scheduling, and the owners. Man, please. Y'all can move mountains. Literally. Like, that's the last thing on my mind.
So
central focus is that young man in the next 48 hours being deemed by the doctors as the most important for his life.
Yeah. Now
period.
We've seen, you know, this. I think this is just the most notable situation that we've had in sports so far because it was on the national stage. You know, you've had NHL guys pass out, you had soccer guys pass out this year, but for it to be on Monday Night Football and the whole, you know, nation to be watching, you know, it shakes up some people. So I think it's a moment of time.
Left, if I was watching that soccer match, I would have been feeling the exact same way.
But you see how they never cancel no soccer match over no player passing out.
They probably just put that dude on the little old school stretcher and run him out the stadium. And we're not trying to poke fun, but like we've seen it, like you said.
And so it's just an interesting way. It's just an interesting time we're living in, man. It's so many things that can be of speculation, and I think that it's definitely changed the game, changed how we go about taking care of the players in the game, and hopefully we can move on to a better understanding. I think when sometimes you get too emotional, nobody ever wants to be like, okay, this was the reason. They just like, oh, it's just the craziest thing in the world. But I think if we get some more understanding of what actually took place, maybe we can prevent it in the future and, you know, keep the game how the game is. But I think it's hard. It's a thin line when you're dealing with such a violent game and trying to have all these safety precautions around it.
But I will say this, man. Lucky Lefty podcast, you know, it's a new perspective. You know, because like I said, since you're young and you're in Pee Wee, there's so much of toughness, man. Die for your brothers. Do I'm like all this crazy stuff that you're told, and you get this mentality, and it's like, man, look, hey, man, not just the physical, the mental side of it when players step away from the game.
That's more impactful than anything physical.
Dude, and not when they step away. I'm talking about when they're going through it. Like, this is the type of stuff, this is the way you have to play and think in order to be great. That's, you know, you're teetering on the edge at all times, bro.
You got to have a character issue or something if you want to be a good football player because you tweetering or teetering on half crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta be because you have to compartmentalize so much.
Yeah.
You got to move on through stuff so much, and you know, a lot of times, especially when they teach you in therapy, and you're like, okay, if something happens to you, you have to embrace it and take it all in and experience it. But in football, it's like if it happens, you move on to the next play. And I think that builds up for a lot of guys in their life when they're just moving on to the next play instead of addressing things that happen to them, which is why the mental side is so huge for retired players and players going through it. So it's a tough game.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about your former teammate, Jared Grace. and just telling me like, yo, you don't understand how good this dude was, dude.
Oh, he was.
And he just couldn't stay healthy, man. And it was, you were like, Shaun, it wasn't just the physical, it was like, it was just mentally draining for him, man.
I mean,
Knowing that
he
his
just
plans for his life just,
changed,
just changed.
and it's like it has to change because you can't even be stuck on. Okay, it's still gonna work. It's still gonna work because that's just not the nature of the game. You only got so long for you. Like, all right, it's got to move on. But that's a mental anguish that you got to deal with because only you can deal with it. Nobody
Yeah.
can be like, okay, here's the list of things you can do now that football has changed for you. So, I think a lot of it is hard to go through when it don't go right, when it don't go the 3 years into the league and first round pick. That's just the fantasy we all want, but there's a lot more guys that don't get that fantasy than they do.
Yeah. And yo, it's okay, man. And this the vast majority of our fans are males, and we love and appreciate our female fans and listeners. That the football players are male. Look, we understand we understand the whole tough guy, fight through it, don't cry. We understand the stuff we're told, and at some point, man, um, it's okay to be human.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay to be human. It's okay to look at situations and not use the things that make us divisible as people and separate us and come back to the common thread of, dang, man, I don't want that to happen to that young man. Man, I don't want that to happen to that young lady. Man, I don't want that to happen to that mother, to that father, to that son, to that daughter, to that husband, to that wife. Like, that's just being a human and sending prayers out without giving a darn what happened, why it happened. Who cares how it happened? It happened. This is it. This is what we're dealing with. That young man needed every pure prayer he could get, every pure prayer. And you got people on social media talking about how we gonna finish. Man, who gives a darn at this point in time, dog? Let this be dealt with, and then whatever they decide, you got to live with it as a fan. What you gonna do? Protest because they didn't continue the game? It's like, man, miss me with that, bro, and stop trying to diminish things because of the way you feel or your political thoughts. Man, miss me all with and stop bringing up how much money athletes make as a reason for them to be dehumanized. Stop. He can't cash no checks 6 feet under, dude. Ain't no checks being cashed 6 feet under. None.
And I
So
think that's where people get lost in translation, where, you know, NFL is big business. And it's hard for some people in business to separate the product from the
mhm,
money.
yeah.
You got people gambling, people
Yep.
betting, and they're like, yeah, this is it's crazy,
It's a
but
lot.
it's a lot of money I got on
It's a
this
lot. A lot of people that were feeling a certain way because of certain things. And
game.
that's cool. That's
I,
cool.
I just don't like the virtue signaling. I think that you got to handle it the right way, whoop de whoop. But the crying on TV and the attacking people
You're
for
not talking about the players. I want to make sure people understand. You're not talking about the dudes that were actually there, that are his
uh,
brothers.
I'm talking about the guys on TV like Ryan Clark crying and the emotion. It's like I don't know. I mean, I think that there's a time and place for everything. But some stuff I think is better to just let it breathe. Some stuff is like we gotta take the moment from the person by speaking on it in such an emotional way that it draws attention away from the person. Can we just let it happen and
Yeah,
see how he
I,
feels?
yeah.
I just don't like the overly. You're tweeting 400 words on how you're so upset and distraught and all this. It's like, look, Jesus is not cutting you in the line any closer because you virtue signaling.
And you
Like
know what? That's that's left. The human part of us should have that same energy for all people that go through tough things. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be, like I said, the things that make us divisible and
Yeah,
separate us, we should be able to put those things to the side in situations, regardless of who's going through it, regardless of how they look, what shade, what culture, regardless, humanity
yeah.
reaches out and says, yo, man, can I do something about it? Like, and shout out to the fans in Buffalo and around the NFL that found his philanthropic work and took it up to close to $4 million when he only
Damn,
asked for
he took all of
2500.
that. That thing
Well,
had $3.50 in it before yesterday.
hey man,
Now the thing overflowing. You can't even afford it.
hey, you know,
I'm talking about that thing was like it only wanted like $2,500 for the foundation.
you know what, bro? It's the society we live in, right? That we would rather pull out a phone to film something crazy than to be a part of it to help it and stop it and change it. So it,
Dang, see, they do something like that at HBCUs, man. Something half tragic gotta happen. They overflow the count, just overflow it. Just
I hope not. I hope not. Not to that extent, left. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CSB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Follow us on YouTube at Lucky Lefty Podcast. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and let everybody know Lucky Lefty Podcast. We're continuing to climb to 5,000. It's because of you, LL Nation. We greatly appreciate you. We spin it different. And to push forward, look, this is what makes Notre Dame special to young men. And the young men that choose to come to Notre Dame, they make a great decision. Because the game is so tenuous, bro. Like you said it. You know what you're signing up for.
yeah.
Every time you step out on that field, you know it's a possibility.
The nature of the game is desensitizing.
Yeah, you know
Especially
that.
you see somebody get just mollywopped
Yeah,
in
yeah,
person, you're like, oh, that's way more real than on TV. And it's just so the game itself is desensitizing in a way,
yeah,
you know. So it's just the Nate. So some guys like me, it's like, okay, it's an injury. Boom. What we do in practice, move it up 20 yards.
yeah.
that's,
It's That's
that's,
literally what it. I've seen it. I saw it this year at fall practice. Like, oh, he all right.
yeah, I mean, a guy might really be hurt now. And we take a second and like, look, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, move it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm. Yep. 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 And it's trickled down to the fans, right? Because as fans, we have become desensitized that you see somebody down, you're like, all right, it's gonna be a pause.
yeah.
Let me flip the channel. By the time I come back, we'll be playing again. Absolutely. It's, and last night, hopefully, um, didn't make you want to get up on your soapbox and preach. But
Yeah, just that's all I'm saying. Just don't.
hopefully it made you a better fan, and hopefully it made you somewhat a better person, and hopefully it made you want to just really show love and positivity, man, and be reflective and appreciative on life itself, just life itself, man, and how blessed it is just to take the next breath or speak the next word,
I agree.
man. That's hopefully it made us all a little bit better. Lucky Lefty Podcast, man. So once again, our prayers and thoughts go out to Damar Hamlin, his family, uh, the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins, who was seen walking down the hallway embracing his mom, emotional. He is probably like, dude,
It wasn't his fault though.
and
It's
no, it
all,
wasn't his fault, but to be part of that, that's something that he's going to have to fight through, And I don't, bro, I can't tell those guys. At some point, they're going to have to. look at the business side. At some point, they're going to have to face it.
At some point.
At some point, they're going to have to face it, but I can't tell them what their schedule should be when it comes to that. We'll sit back, we'll wait. Yeah, it was an important game. Playoff seeding, bragging rights, probably the biggest game of the year to this point. But hey.
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest games of the year. Another chance to put,
you just wanted to see Josh Allen lose. That's all.
That's it. That's all I wanted to see. Just
that's
another
all you wanted to see.
Overrated. I just wanted the people to see that.
So that's it, man. Like, we can be on opposite sides in our thoughts, in our opinions, but all of us can meet in the middle as human beings. Plain and simple. That's it. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. That wraps up this part of the show and discussing Damar Hamlin and not why, but how, you can now really feel really good about Braden Lindsey's decision and the decision of Steve Elmer to say, you know what?
Steve Elmer had years to play left.
Middle of the season. All right.
And it's crazy because he didn't tell nobody. He just I think he may have only told like Coach Kelly. It was like, Coach Kelly, I know I got another year, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm politic.
Or Corey Robinson. That's just like, you know what?
Draftable player, but he want to work in the art museum.
It is what makes Notre Dame special. And because it's a lesson to all of us, man. Like, whatever we do in life that we love, appreciate it, because it literally can be gone. And the people we love can be gone in a moment. So make it a habit to tell the people that you love them. Tell them that you love them so that they know and appreciate everything that you have, man. Like I said, that's it for this half. We're about to get into the next half, which is going to be Notre Dame's championship pieces and what the Notre Dame players had to say after the Gator Bowl. Once again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Leave us 5 stars. Leave your comments. We would greatly appreciate it. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. We indeed spin it different. All right, Left. Notre Dame 45-38. That's the win they got over South Carolina. We heard from Marcus Freeman and his comments after the game. Yesterday, we did a full show on what we learned from the CFB playoffs and how that connects to Notre Dame. We did it on a broad scale. Today, we're going to talk about and point out, and LL Nation, feel free to give your thoughts on this, because we're going to point out the things that exist within the program that we feel like are already championship pieces. What championship pieces does Notre Dame already have in place? What championship pieces does Notre Dame already have in place? This should be fun. And I think we should start with your boy, TB12, man, who has some very interesting comments after the Gator Bowl. I would say, man, the Gator Bowl was some of the best questions asked that I've seen in some post games. Just watching all of the players, watching both coaches, even with Shane Beamer. Some great questions. I thought he copped the plea too many times.
Oh, man, Shane Beamer was out there just wilding out, huh?
Man, he was just copping too many pleas, complaining.
Right? We send off interviews like you ain't coming back.
We didn't have this guy. We didn't have that guy. We only had one tight end. He got hurt in the third quarter. It's like, come on, man. Like,
nobody is tuning in and hear you do all of that.
No.
They want to hear you give credit to Notre Dame that played better.
Absolutely.
Show some love to Marcus Freeman. All right,
So remember, I asked you, how beneficial was it going to be for Tyler Buckner coming back that the atmosphere won't be a problem because there's nothing bigger than Notre Dame, Ohio State week 1 on the road, right? And Left, you told me, I don't care where he's played, he's going to have this. And Tyler Buckner talked about that, working off the rust.
The interceptions are tough. That goes along with rust and goes along with just making mistakes. I think being able to bounce back from that is something, the credit to, our offensive line, our wide receivers, our tight ends, our coaches putting me in good spots. It really comes down to every single person on the staff, from the head coach all the way down to the managers. They're so supportive. They help me in every single facet of life. And, it showed in today's game. Every single person on the sideline supporting me, there for me. And that kind of support goes a long way. In a 20-year-old's head, throwing 3 picks, 2 for a touchdown, isn't that fun? But, when you have such a great group of guys around you, such a great support staff around you, it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, you better be thinking. See, it's easy to mess up when you got your big brothers behind you.
That's when you talk. That's when you talk the most trash, though. Are you kidding me? So my baby brother talked so much trash back in the day. Are you kidding me?
Seriously. And so when that's the case, yeah, you go up there, just shake off a couple mistakes. I know I'm good because I got the best O-line in the country. I got a receiver room that's hungry. I got running backs that's willing to run through walls for me. So this adjustment in rust is easy. It's easy. Now, if I was at Duke, it'd probably be a different story. Probably be up there saying, I gotta do better. I gotta trust my teammates. I gotta work on technique. I gotta really get my guys involved. At Notre Dame, this is why we make guys better. Because when you come to us, we give you we lay out the whole thing for you. Hey man, go ahead and take that Lamborghini, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just bring it back.
Yeah.
So he over there hitting curves and hitting all type of stuff, driving, hitting squirrels and stuff in the road. It's like, it's okay because I can just go take it to the shop and get a different one. That's the luxury you have at Notre Dame where you can make mistakes. It's okay because you got somebody that's going to back you up.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hold you down. So shaking off the rust, you can have 3 picks and 2 pick sixes. Because you know why? We got an O-line that's going to keep you in the game. You got receivers and running backs that's going to run tough and catch the ball for you and make plays for you. You got a defense that's going to hold the other team 3 times in a row, 3 and outs. So those 3 picks is like, oh, okay, well, it happens. Like that's why he's so calm now. He's like, oh, I got my brothers on me, I'm straight. That's not going to be good in the bigger games. You know what I mean? So it's like damning with faint praise. He's like, yeah, I threw a couple picks and everything, but I'm on Notre Dame. I'm good. I just got to keep doing my job, keep making a couple plays here and there, and it'll all work out. And it's partially true, but I would like them to be a little more on it and be like, look, that's not good enough, and I got to raise the level of the team. Because that's the position of the quarterback at Notre Dame. You got to raise all ships. Even though we high up, you got to take us up a little bit more. Because if we're depending on you and you're not depending on us, that's how we get better. Tulane put together a great game plan along with the fact that everybody was playing at a high level. Not just the offensive line or Lawrence Keys in the receiver. Everybody played at a high level. And for us, if everybody plays at a high level, we win a championship. And we're closer than what people would think. So I do think that, Tyler's just a cool cucumber. He's not going to say anything that's too damning, only because he knows what he has. And he's a confident kid himself. So I think we'll see more turnovers in the future. But I don't think he's going to be stressing it either.
Yeah. I'm going to play this right here. You just tapped into something, talking about his confidence. Check out what Logan Diggs had to say about Tyler Buckner when he tried to walk up to him during one of those tough times during the game?
I was really positive today. I was really confident. So I went to Tyler after both picks, and he looked at me like don't talk to me. Like I'm good. And I mean, I love Tyler, and I feel like he went out there today and showed that he is TB12.
Yo, like, man, I don't need that. I don't need that encouragement. We
He
straight.
said, "Did you see that O-line I got? I got a chance anyway. I don't need you in my ear. Okay, I got you." He doesn't see the clips from Drew and Tommy calling down on that phone, having something to say. So he like,
No. He was next to Tommy when he called down to Drew. He heard every word. You have to remember that. He was sitting right there like, damn.
yeah. So he like, that's what I'm getting on the phone for messing up. I don't need you talking to me and making it worse. I'm like, all right, I got you, bro. I got you. I'll do
Facts.
that.
Facts.
So I do think that's just his makeup, though. He's not the one to be like, don't give me the extra boost. I got it because I believe in myself. I may throw 50 picks, but I got it. And you kind of want that in a quarterback to kind of shake it off and be able to bounce back well, especially after turnovers or mistakes. But we'll see how long that lasts. You can't be throwing too many picks and turnovers.
No, you can't. And I don't think that's something that that we're going to see moving forward. I think he's going to get better. My question to you. No, let's say this after let's listen to something else he had to say. Then I'll ask that towards the end. This is Tyler Buckner talking about the confidence he has because of what you just mentioned, Left, that O-line and that running game.
Front were rolling today. They had an unbelievable day. The backs had an unbelievable day. Tight ends, the wideouts had a huge role in the run game today. I don't think people realize that, but Matt Salerno, Dion, JT, Zoe. I mean, those guys block their tail off all day long. It's the things that go unnoticed. So, and like the big guys played their tails off, and it's great like staying there in the huddle. Logan talked about it. They're strapping their gloves. They're ready to go. So having that look in their eyes gives you just more confidence as a quarterback that we're going to be able to run this ball.
Yep. Got the big nasties in front of me. I think I feel good. I will say this, Left. I guess I can throw it in right here. Is Tyler Buckner a national championship piece at quarterback? And with everyone that might be coming in, will the Notre Dame quarterback room, with the transfer and Kenny Minchie coming in, will the quarterback room be a championship piece at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think Tyler Buckner definitely proved he's a valuable piece quarterback room because I think he gives enough athletic ability, enough of a great attitude in terms of mental fortitude to be able to survive in a room like that where it's high competition and high prestige and high stakes. I think he has the mentality and the physical traits to be in that room. Tyler's biggest question is, can he stay healthy? Do I think he's the piece to get us over the championship hump? No, because he hasn't proved he can stay healthy. But also because I think that he needs some polish and it takes time. I think he can work it out through 2 seasons. But I think it would be a great addition to have him in the room when you're bringing in guys like Sam Hartman and maybe another guy coming up with Kenny Minchie to stimulate the competition in the room. That Tyler's not a guy that's going to take a day off and just let you beat him up. He's got a quiet confidence about himself where he probably feels like he's the best in any room. And I think that's where it starts from a mentality standpoint that, yeah, I know I'm bringing in Sam Hartman, but Sam Hartman better know I'm in the room too. I think that has to be Tyler's mentality going into the spring if we do get Sam, because I think it's interesting that we're taking a long time getting that process started to where we can just be like, yeah, he's coming. It's just been a bunch of he's expected. I mean, the season over. Damn, how long? You ain't gonna be the first pick in the draft over C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. So, you coming back or not? You know what I mean? So, I think Tyler Buckner is a vital piece. I just don't think he is the piece to get us over the hump. I think it takes a couple more things to add on top of that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So, in talking about that, he talked about being resilient and what it took on that last touchdown drive, the game-winning drive left, which you got to have some. We saw it from Stetson Bennett. Like you can play bad, but when it came to crunch time, can you step up, make some plays? And I'm sorry, let me throw Steve Angeli in there in the quarterback room so people won't feel like we are omitting him purposely. But he talked about that.
I think
What it
it'd
was
be a
like.
shame.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it'd be a shame if they all stayed, though. I think for the best thing for Angeli, I don't think it's something he can do to play next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be valuable. It's still early for Angeli because he hasn't had enough time to really know. But the way things are going in that quarterback room, I don't think you'll have the opportunity either. With TB being in and out of the lineup so much, he's only saving years in time to play. So it'll be an interesting transition to see how it all shakes out. But that King Mitchell in and being good as we expected is going to put a lot of pressure on Angeli to decide what he wants to do.
Absolutely. Tyler Buckner on the game-winning drive.
Because of the games. It's only so fun working out, doing all this stuff, getting hurt. It's not very fun. So, just having this opportunity to go out there for one last time this season with people that I love, at the end of this world and my teammates, and, it's just an unbelievable opportunity. And I'm happy we came out with a win.
Can you describe the emotions of leading a game-winning drive?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a ton of emotion. It was just like, we have this play, let's run this play. We have the next play, let's run this play. And then you sort of encapsulates all when you score a touchdown, and then you sort of feel it. Yeah.
I tell you what, man, look, man. You don't mind having that quarterback talking to the media, bro.
Yeah, you don't mind that.
Yeah, he answers questions very thorough, very well. You can add that to the list of Braden Lindsey. He's the best running quarterback ever played with. He's the best media trained quarterback ever played with. Look, absolutely. Like if we can get rid of the pick sixes, we might have something on our hands.
Something on our hands. You go there, yeah, we just run a play, and then you look up and you score. Shit, I don't. I mean, if that's the attitude you carry with it, good. That means you stay in focus at least.
That cat, he is a machine. Like this dude ain't out there having no fun. He's like, man, what's the next play? Run it, run it.
And that's what's going to help. That's what's going to help not throw him off when he's doing and having these turnovers. That it's like he don't even care. It's like, man, it's just a part of the game, But if we get more plays and we get the chance to run them, see what happens, man. We go out there and execute. And I think that attitude is good and bad because I think it's hard to read if you're a teammate. Like, if you tell me not to talk to you and you just saying we just running plays, but it's a big moment of the game. You just acting like, we just go out there and call it and haul it. And it looked like it on some of them plays where you just throwing a pick six all willy-nilly. And it's like, bro, you don't have to throw it just because it's called. You don't have to throw it. We're winning. And you out here putting the ball in harm's way because that's what the read said. Come on, man. Use some situational awareness. It's 3 minutes left. If you don't feel like you got it, just fall down. Kick a field goal.
Dude, look here, man.
Because he's like, the play said, throw it here, and see what happens. Oh.
Like Marcus Freeman said, we shouldn't have thrown it. We shouldn't have called it.
There you go.
Oh, dude, you got people putting up videos on social media. This is what Tommy was trying to do. Fam, run the ball. I don't care what he's trying to do. What are you talking about?
Run the ball, bro.
You're trying to make it seem like, oh, he's so smart. I see what he's trying to do. Yeah, I see what you were trying to do. You were trying to make it about you. Yeah. Instead of it being about the players on the field. Because if it was about the players on the field, you would have lined up and ran seven one more time right into the end zone.
He was like, we could get some more stats. We upset. Right. We could squeeze a touchdown in there to our tight end.
At that point, Tyler was going to be the MVP anyway. You felt like this was a Russell Wilson, what's our boy name? Beast mode.
He said, let me cross that. Let me get some more points before we get out of here. Let me just be a little more greedy. It's like we know you're smart. 445, Tommy. We get it. You schemed them up. You got them. And you out here one extra. See, because that extra gonna get you the game loss.
Man,
that was a huge momentum play. Let's say, boom, they run it back. It's tie game. Now momentum's changed, and somehow we lose the game. Guess whose fault that is? It's you, Tommy. So don't get cute. Think about the players first and coming out with a win. You done got Tyler through the game. He's been playing pretty well. Don't put him in no position where he gotta, because you know he's gonna want to shine. If you give him a chance to shine, he's gonna try to shine. Until he's polished and understands, okay,
you want a rusty quarterback to make a double read with the backside safety having nothing to hold him because you motioned this wide receiver across into a trip. And then you want him to, man, a rusty quarterback. That's what you want to ask of him in the most important moment of the game when they're gassed. Come on, man. That's that Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl against the Patriots all over again.
Too smart, you're dumb. You know, you just too
this
smart.
This cat beast mode just got tripped up at the 1.5 yard line, and here we gonna throw a quick slant. For what?
I wonder what Marcus Freeman was thinking with that pick six up. He was like, why are we not running the damn ball? He definitely called up to the box and be like, Tommy, stop playing with me. Hey, and what they do the next drive, even on passing opportunities, they was handing that thing off the next drive.
Yeah. Like, right. We nah, we ain't taking no more chances, bro. And the call, the touchdown pass worked because South Carolina figured there's no way they're passing the ball after that. There's no way they're passing the ball down here after that. And lo and behold,
that's how we got them from the fact that they was like, there is no way after that pick six they're going to throw it. There's no way. Because they start lining up with no safeties. Carolina was like, okay, I see what y'all do. Y'all trying to make up for throwing that stupid ass pick. So we're just going to play straight run defense. And it didn't matter for us. We was running with 12 in the box, the coach in the box, 2, no safeties. We were running that thing. And that's how you set them up. Because we convinced everybody on TV, in the stadium, and in the coaching staff that we wasn't passing it. That's how we won the game.
Can I tell you who Tommy is, man? You know, comedy is about timing, bro. Like you're out there in LA, so I'm sure you go to the comedy clubs a lot, right? Yep. Every now and then in Chicago, you know, because they're popping in the Chi as well. I get out to a couple every now and then. It's all about timing. You can write out the best joke in the world on paper, bro. But when you get on that stage, it's totally different. You can script out the best plays in the world leading up to a game. But once you get in the game, you have to have the ability to perfectly time and set up when those plays are going to be called. It doesn't matter how great they are on paper. If you got bad timing, and what we saw is that every now and then, Tommy Rees's timing of calling things at certain times is just a little bit off. And we've seen
just
it.
Just a little bit off.
Just a little bit off, and it makes you say...
It's those little bit off jokes that ruin the whole set.
Thank you.
It's the one-off joke that'll make the whole thing not funny.
And did that call not almost ruin the entire set in the Gator Bowl?
When we would have had nothing good to say about you if we lost, even though we did a lot of great things, it would have failed in comparison to that crazy play call because it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed. So, man.
Dude, it's crazy, man. By the way, Colin Cowherd just said the Broncos are going to offer Jim Harbaugh $20 million a year. Jim Harbaugh, let me tell you something. I don't care how much you love Michigan. If the Denver Broncos offer you $20 million, man, look, I would come pick you up, dude. I would drive you to Mile High Stadium myself or whatever they call it, Invesco, whatever they call it. I would be your personal assistant chauffeur, bro. $20 million to coach football? Man, that's absolutely insane, dude. What are we doing right now, man? What are we doing, Left? Left, you are in the right business. Keep going, my brother. Keep going, my brother. Keep going. Because salaries are going to be right. $20 million a year. You got to be kidding me, man.
$20 million a year is crazy.
That's crazy, Left. That's crazy. 20 mil, bro?
Some stuff you can't say no to.
Bruh.
I don't care
Man,
how
look.
hard Michigan, playoff bound. Look, nothing at Michigan is better than that $20 million
Look.
a year.
Michigan players would be like, Coach, you don't even have to meet with us. You ain't got to meet with us before you leave. Like, we understand. You ain't got to tell us how much you love us, right?
We see that ticker and how much it said on per year. You don't even look. I understand, Coach. I wouldn't be here either.
I wouldn't be here either. Man. Man.
Because that checkbook is open. $20 million.
So, talk about the quarterback. How do you feel about this offensive line? It's one thing I want to see from Blake Fish and Joe Alt. I need them to get stronger at the point of attack. Right? I need them to get stronger. Because they're big naturally, but I think they can get stronger, be more impactful. They're pretty good in pass pro, but going up top defensive linemen, they need that extra strength that sometimes you can see. Like Joe Alt, I saw him get pushed on his butt against South Carolina, and I'm like, okay, Joe, you need to get in the weight room, fix the legs a little bit.
Maulers,
Mm-hmm.
like a Chris Watt, a mauler, just stonewalling people. We got more of like a athletic finesse, good technique type of guys. Like Blake Fisher comes off as a mauler, but he's really a finesse. I get up in the pads, I'm quick, I'm fast on my feet type of thing. But I agree, we definitely, just like on the D-line, need some size maulers. Like guys you like, man, I don't know if I just want to line up against him just because he just looked big. He looked the part. I think if we add a couple more pieces like that, maybe like, Michigan looked like they had some maulers, even though they were softer than cotton tissue. They had like a 6'6", 300-pound tackle with the tattoos and the arm sleeve. I'm like, oh, he look pretty good. We got the in shape, they can play multiple sport type of linemen. All our linemen would be on Men's Health magazine because they just in shape, healthy dudes. They ain't got extra side handles or nothing. They just in shape, figure of health athletes. So I think having some less magazine quality type of lineman, throw in a big ugly from Mississippi or something. It's just something.
They are. Look, I think Brian Driscoll put it up on the message board yesterday, which kind of shocked me because of the things I heard about the young guys on the interior, that they're looking for an NFL type interior lineman in the portal if he becomes available. Yeah. Like we don't need you.
We don't need him.
But if an NFL type, the absolute opposite of Kane Madden, if that type of guy enters the portal, we want to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah,
so
we'll talk to you.
Yeah. So look,
It's like we going to the store. We shopping for cereal, but we shopping for the special cereal. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just getting the great value big bags for like $2. We want
Like,
that.
are you a serial contrarian like me? I'll tell you what I mean by that, bro. I will go get like some checks, something healthy, but then I'll get the crunch berries, bro. Like I'll go get
Oh yeah,
a big box of crunch berries and get the small box of the rice checks that's healthy.
the
It's
crunch
like, wait a
berries are
minute.
in the crunch berries are in the basket first.
You notice all the cereal companies make all the healthy stuff only in small boxes, bro. They never
Only a
give you
small.
the jumbo box of the healthy stuff. Small boxes.
You gotta,
Fruit
and that's
Loops,
what
Captain Crunch, all of that stuff, jumbo. They give you double packages. It's crazy.
yeah. You need one box for your favorite cereal because it's usually giant.
Right?
All
Like,
the healthy stuff, you gotta like stack like 15 little packages and boxes. You like, oh my goodness, man, I don't even want to eat healthy. Give me a big box of cereal. But the
facts.
cranberries is what I put in the basket first, and then you balance your diet around that. You know, okay, I need a couple Nutri-Grain bars, because I got the big box of cereal, and get a couple fruit, But the big box of cereal is the first thing. It's like the centerpiece
Yeah.
of my grocery cart, and then you build off of that.
Yeah. Our girl D Beezy, what's up? Hey, you already know. That's my father's cereal right there. The strawberry special K. Oh,
Ooh,
dude, he loves that. With the almond milk. Yeah.
do you put the
Peanut butter.
one with the yogurt bites?
I'm not sure. I'm sure, dude. Look,
I
all
do.
I know, that dude lives by Special K, bro, with the strawberries. Lives by it.
No doubt.
Absolutely lives by it. Logan Diggs, he was talking about that O line, bro. And we're going to get to whether or not the offensive line is championship quality, a championship piece, right after Logan Diggs tells us about the O line giving confidence.
When we're in that huddle and you see the old line and they fixing their gloves and tighten their hands and they fierce and I mean you just know. So like I have the utmost trust in them and Coach Harry and their preparation. So and all I do is trust my reads and trust my coaches, and I go out there and I execute, and they put us in a great position to continue to run the ball.
So them dudes be in the huddle like, what's the play? I bet you the offensive linemen get mad every time they hear a pass play call, bro.
Mm.
I can see Quentin Nelson back in the day when a pass play was called like, come on, man. What we doing? Malik, what we doing? What
You
you
just turn
doing,
around.
man?
I remember a couple times. I was in there and I'm making checks. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, let me get a little pass off, and I just see the lineman turn around and be like, "Call the ball." I'm like, all right, play off. We're just gonna run the original. Yeah, I've definitely had those type of. So just listen to your lineman, man. If they say run it, just run the ball, man.
They like, man, look, you back here getting real cute, Malik. You getting real cute. You're trying to prove you can check.
And they're not gonna like openly like, you know.
Right.
For sure.
Man, Lucky Lefty podcast.
But
So
you got runners that are calling the runs to their side, like running over here. If you are Logan Diggs, man, that's the best thing you eat when you got line. For sure.
yeah, you breaking up a little bit now. I don't know what happened with your Wi-Fi.
They talking about bad Wi-Fi.
They getting on you, love. They getting on you. Let's speed through this, man. So the championship piece, offensive line. Is that a championship piece?
Offensive line definitely champion. definitely. Without it, we wouldn't even be talking about championships. So I think it starts there, and we got the pieces. It would be nice to add that extra piece, like you said, just a interior guard or something nasty with some accolades, first team something, just to decorate it. When you got the nice turkey and the stuffing, you just put the stuffing on top. Make the dish look complete. It's good, the food good, but add that stuffing on there, man.
Let's go to championship wide receivers. Do we have championship wide receivers?
Not until we get a guy that's like a Harrison Smith Jr., where he's just a bona fide thug, like best in the country, not just best in the room, best in the country, undisputed. Because even Ohio State has a great receiving core, they still got a number one guy.
Yeah.
They still got a guy that's the best in the country. Even though they have a top receiver room, they still got a guy that stands alone. And I think we're about one away from that for sure.
Running backs. Championship running backs. The pieces that left.
Is what I think he is. I think we right there. If Jadarian is what I think he is, we right there. We got the power. We got the in-between speed with Logan Diggs, good outside the tackle runner. But Jadarian Price got to be our home run hitter. And if he's our home run hitter, because Chris Tyree, I think, is just too small to be the home run hitter. But if Jadarian Price is the home run hitter, we got everything we need in the run game. We got everything we need.
And don't forget Jeremiah Love, who'll be playing in the Under Armour game tonight. He's coming in as well.
Oh, Jeremiah Love, too. I'm just so hyped on Jadarian. Every time I see him, he's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Man, hulking up like,
And I thought Audrey was the problem. Jadarian might be the problem,
Man, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Follow us at Lucky Lefty Podcast. CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. All of our great content is over there. Leave us 5 stars. Leave your comments. We appreciate it. We cover football, college football, unlike anybody else. We spin it different, plain and simple. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Defensive line. I know your critique right now.
Yeah, we're not there yet. No. We too light in the pants on that D-line, just for my liking. Yeah, we got some skillful guys, guys that can, make some plays, but I've seen what D-lines look like, and we're not there yet.
Yeah. Let's speed through this.
We got pieces, though. We got some pieces.
Oh, facts. Facts. I'll put it all together. And before no. Let me play this. Let's hear from your boy Reek, your boy Tariq Bracy. He was asked about playing without Morrison, our guy, once he got hurt.
Before, we have a lot of DBs in that room, who's ready to step up and make plays. And, losing Ben, it hurts, it's part of our core group. But, we have other guys that can step in and make plays. So we just make sure he is all right and just continue to do what he's doing.
Yes, one of those guys is the much maligned Clarence Lewis, especially after last year's Fiesta Bowl. People on his head. He was part of the group that got 3 3-and-outs in 4 possessions for Notre Dame when South Carolina was trying to extend the lead and allow Notre Dame to get back in that game. He was also asked about the absence of Brandon Joseph.
Ramon's a baller, so we gotta trust him. We know he's gonna make plays, and in regards to Cam and beat Brandon Joseph, like I said, it hurts. It's part of our group, and I don't know. It's just make plays. You got other players that go out, step up. So
Notre Dame also might be looking at a safety in the transfer portal, but right now it's going to be Xavier Watts, Ramon Henderson, with plenty of experience coming back left. How do you feel about that safety position being a championship piece?
Yeah, if Xavier Watts is back there, I think we definitely got a good shot of being explosive on the back end. with a Ben Morrison, Jaden Mickey, and a Xavier Watts holding it down. Maybe even Ryan Phillips gets in there this next year. I think a lot of it too is for Ben Morrison to be in that core group at half the season. It shows you that it's a lot of talent in the room, but also there's a lot of room for guys to step up and make plays like Tariq is saying. Tariq sounds so much like a coach. He's like, we got guys in there that, go in there and somebody go down. We got another guy step up. But it's really true. And I think that Clarence Lewis being motivated by seeing a Ben Morrison, I think it has inspired him to play better. Not just because of Ben Morrison, because I think he's taken a step up from last year's debacle. And he's being more impactful in plays. He's not just around the ball. He's made a couple great pass breakups. People are still trying him, but it's less likely they're successful. I think he's played with a lot more intensity, which is a big reason why that those three and outs happened, was because he was intense and physical in those opportunities. So the back end, I think more so now than ever before, we're more championship built, championship ready. I want to see how we bounce back in year 2 with Ben Morrison, year 5 with Cam Hart, get some of these guys in safety more reps. But I think that's the closest we've been in that secondary to a championship unit, and I think it's only getting better from here.
What do you think about that linebacker crew?
Man,
they're young and promising.
I think in 2 years we'll see it, because I would love to see another year of size on those guys. Just nothing to do with technique. They may be great.
So you're not saying don't play them. You're just saying let them grow. One more year. Let them grow up on the field, and then you're gonna see. Okay.
Yeah, because I really think that just a Manti Te'o's size his last year, we all knew, okay, that's a Heisman guy right there. The play was there, but he looked the part. And I think for our guys, our play is there, but looking the part I think it's just a year away. Jalen Sneed with another year of a weightlifting program from Bayless, that's a first-round guy, maybe. Like, because we can see it. Now, he's going to make plays like he did when he got in last couple games. Great explosive tackles, and all of that. But I'm telling you, another year of size on a Jalen Sneed, a Nolan Ziegler, a Tuilamaka, some of the guys that are young. Marcus Freeman's going to have him a unit there that rivals the Ohio State's unit when they had A.J. Hawk, James Laurinaitis, Vernon Golson, Marcus Freeman himself, So I think that's what he's trying to build, and he's getting definitely close with that.
Talk about Jaden Alsbury, who has been balling all week in Under Armour practices. He's coming in with Drake Bowen. You're right. The linebacker room is definitely ascending to get to a championship level and being a championship piece and a national title for the Notre Dame football program. Left, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. It's always a joy to talk Notre Dame football, college football, but even more, just talk about life and circumstances as well. We were able to do that today. And LL Nation, the chat was absolutely amazing. The way you guys discuss things from different perspectives, and whether it was, the Damar Hamlin situation, or whether it was Notre Dame football having championship pieces and hearing from the players, we greatly appreciate you. Let's get through this right here. It's a question for you, Lev. You're in charge of the quarterback room in Notre Dame. What's your move for next season? Hartman a year rental, and after this season, ND would be in the same spot as the Cone situation.
It's definitely an interesting situation. I think seeing the audition tape of Tyler Buckner and what he was able to show against South Carolina, was a lot of promise there, a lot of talent that you can see developing, and you can see the potential in that. Bringing a Sam Hartman in, especially for a one-year deal, you would have to bring him in to start and play most of the season, I would hope. But I don't know how much more Tyler can learn sitting another year, especially sitting another year healthy. And then how do you mix Sam Hartman and Tyler Buckner from not letting Tyler leave? Tyler can have every excuse in the world to want to leave after, we bring in Sam Hartman potentially, just because he knows that he's not going to be on the field as much as he even was in the South Carolina game. Hopefully injury don't happen and all that. But I think it's a tougher spot for Tyler Buckner to be in now because he's got the taste of, I know I can play. Maybe with a couple more games, I smooth that thing out, and we can still win a lot of games. I think the unfortunate part is both of these guys can get us 10 wins because we have a great team. So whether that be Sam Hartman coming in, starting fast, and clicking with everybody and us winning 10 games that way, or Tyler Buckner working through his issues but growing with those guys and winning 10 games the same way. I think the same challenges present both quarterbacks, and is who is going to beat Ohio State and who is going to beat USC.
Facts. That's a 2-game. It's a 2-game season, baby. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it funky. It's a 2-game season. We should not even be talking about losses to the likes of Stanford and Marshall. We're through that. That bumpy road, we learned that lesson. It's year 2, Marcus Freeman. This is a 2-game season.
We're not
2.5 game season. We'll give half respect to Clemson. We'll give them half respect.
Yeah, because
we beat them in the bumpy season. So
easy. Beat them easy. So
if you don't get Ohio State now left, I don't know.
Never get them. We'll never get them.
If you don't get them next year,
I'm talking about crush them. We need to crush them next year. Oh, we'll never get them.
Bro.
So the question comes down to, who does Tommy want in those 2 games? Does he go with an experienced, well-decorated quarterback in Sam Hartman, which I do think he's better than whoever Ohio State got in their room, and he's not better than Caleb? Or do you take a Tyler Buckner who you like, from what we've been told you like him? He's got a good demeanor about him. He does some things pretty well, but can you withstand the turnovers in those big games against Ohio State or USC? I do think he's better. I think I would take him over Kyle McCord. I don't know which one is better because neither one has played long enough, right? But he's not better than Caleb Williams either. So I think that they're both in the same position, even though they're different quarterbacks that we like for different reasons. And I think it's going to be hard for Tommy. Once again, you're calling the offense for Jack Cohn and the offense for Tyler Buckner 2 different offenses. Sam Hartman, yeah, he's more mobile, but he ain't Tyler. So I'm sure that there's a lot more synergy that you probably like with Sam Hartman for whatever reason, because he looks like he probably, but they damn near the same height, so it's not like one is towering the other. I think Buckner probably has more of a wild athleticism about him. He's more unexpected from what he's able to do. I think we know what we're getting with Sam Hartman. So it's just a matter of what does Tommy want and how can it best fit the offense in what we're trying to do. I think the receivers like Tyler, but I think they would like Sam a little bit more if he goes in there and it looks like the Sam from Wake Forest. I think it's a bigger adjustment for Sam to make initially, but if you're a 5th-year guy, man, go in there and do your thing for 1 year. I just think that just sends an interesting signal to Tyler Buckner that it's hard to explain if you Marcus Freeman. Yeah, you played great. We love you. We see a potential future, but we're bringing in the guy for another year, so you just have to take a back seat. I think that's hard to have that conversation. And then what do you even talk to Angeli about? It's like, Angeli, you better hope Minchie or CJ don't catch up.
Right. Adam Shipley, thanks for the super chat. You keep saying Price is getting bigger. Do you think it will affect his speed?
Man, it don't even matter. Jadarian Price is nice. And he's only getting bigger because he can't run around too much because of his knees. So
that's all he can do is lift. Dude, I walked out for a fall practice, bro, and I looked to the left as I walked on the field. This dude was in the corner, dude. Just
he's so big. It's gonna come ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm like, fam, you're not doing nothing with your legs. Yeah, because he was in a walking boot. He just. I was like, okay.
I'm ready.
See what he's on. Like he finally got on the scooter and got on the field like towards the end of practice. I'm like, dude, were you lifting weights the whole time?
The whole practice just getting big. Yeah.
You can tell he's been putting in work.
But that also just shows a commitment.
Yeah.
A guy that, is hurt, can't physically be out there, but he's involved. He's trying to do anything he can. And and you look up, he done changed his whole body composition in 1 year.
Yeah.
The man looked prepared. So you gotta appreciate a kid that, because injuries for a lot of guys, it shapes guys differently.
Yeah.
And how they recover and how they're motivated. And you can see from a kid like Jadarian Price be motivated and physically be able to take it to a next level, not being able to run. So I'm all excited about Jadarian Price.
Yeah, Wednesday, January the 4th, tomorrow is when you'll start to see visits. You were wondering why things hadn't started rolling with Sam Hartman. He couldn't visit. He hadn't been to the campus yet. He couldn't visit until the 4th. That was the deadline. He'll be able to come in.
We actually got rules in the NCAA.
Yeah, look at that. Some legislation, NCAA. Wow. But no,
I'm surprised he wasn't taking warm-up throws with Tyler in the game.
Like I said, Notre Dame will also be looking to get some safeties, possibly a safety, veteran safety, and possibly a veteran NFL level prospect interior lineman, if available, to get them to visit. I will say, look out for West Virginia defensive lineman Linnell Carr, who's just entered the transfer portal, and also Byron Bonds from Utah State. Notre Dame will be looking to get him on campus as well. Another great show left. We appreciate everybody that tuned in. And, man, you already know what time it is, Left. There we go.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest story of the day, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. I did not have anybody on the petty train, bro. Just sitting there watching everything unfold last night. And then I happened to just turn over to the fourth quarter, the last 5 minutes. The Chicago Bulls let Donovan Mitchell put up 71 points in 2023, bro. They allowed a man to put up 70 points in 2023, bro. Put the entire team, coaching staff, 71 points, dude. 71?
And he was cooking. He was, man, Zach LaVine wanted no smoke. And DeMar DeRozan, no.
71, right? And then to go back yesterday, they played Cleveland at home the other night, and they lost by 1 point. DeMar DeRozan, took a last-second shot, got fouled, wasn't called. Monday, here comes the NBA. Yeah, there should have been a call, as we looked at this about something, man. Like, dude, matter of fact, stop. Releasing that stuff does nothing but tick fans off even more.
It don't do nothing but make everybody mad.
Nothing, because honestly, you're not holding the refs accountable in any way, form, or fashion.
Because the refs can just run off the field if they say the game over, they can just run off.
Man, bro, 71 points, bro.
Yeah,
Mike dropped 69, you're like, that's Mike, right? LeBron dropped 60, you're like, that's Bron. Right? Kobe drops 81. You're like, okay, that's cold.
This is
Donovan Mitchell, though.
This is not even a legacy franchise This is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And y'all let a man score 71. And y'all was double teaming? Y'all was trying to pick up 94 feet. He was giving y'all them buckets. So, goes back to my question. Is Zach LaVine a Supermax player?
No. 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 Oh, you knew the answer to that. You didn't even have to ask that question, dude. You knew the answer to that. Man, stop. Heck no, Zach LaVine. No, Zach is not a Supermax player. Dude, honestly, there are only maybe 10 real Supermax players in the NBA. 10. Maybe. That deserves
okay.
Supermax. 10.
Supermax player.
I'll say 10. And on that note, we're going to get out of here because you're freezing up again, bro. Lucky Lucky Podcast, man. Yo, Lucky Lucky Podcast. We hope everyone has a great Tuesday, man. We'll see you back. Don't forget, tomorrow, Virginia Tech, transfer, wide receiver, Caleb Smith, KK. I don't know which one he's going to be, KK1 or KK2, when the other Caleb Smith gets to town.
Yeah.
He joins us right here on the Lucky Lucky Podcast, man. So, from the original left, Malik, Zaire, I'm Shaun Davis. The Onora boys will be back. Have a great Tuesday. But most of all, you got to make sure that you spin it different.